Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. Every time I stand before a group of people like this, I remind myself of one simple truth, that we are all walking stories. Some polished, some raw, but all worthy. And today, I want to share mine with you. Not as an actress, not as a public figure, but as a woman, as a human being. I want to talk about what it means to be strong and what it means to be beautiful, and how the two are not separate, they are one. I think for a long time I misunderstood strength. I used to believe that strength meant not showing emotion, being unshakable, never letting anyone see your pain. I thought beauty was something external, a look, a pose, a dress, a compliment. And then life, as it always does, taught me otherwise. There was a time not very long ago when I felt like I was falling apart. I would wake up and feel like the world had lost its color. I would smile for the cameras, speak on stage, laugh in interviews, but inside, I felt numb. I didn't understand what was happening to me. I had everything I was told I should want: success, fame, validation. But I had lost myself. And losing yourself is a terrifying thing, because you start to question everything you've built, everything you've become. It was depression, and at the time, I didn't even have the language for it. I remember sitting in my home one morning, the sun pouring through the windows, birds chirping like any other day, and yet I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was drowning in silence. And I thought to myself, if this is going to be my life every day, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And that was the moment I knew I had to speak up, not just for myself, but for every person who is silently suffering. I sought help. I got therapy. I learned how to sit with my feelings instead of hiding from them. And most importantly, I allowed myself to feel not just the joy, but also the pain. That was the beginning of my true strength. You see, strength isn't about putting on a brave face. It's about putting real with yourself. It's about standing in your truth, even when your voice trembles. It's about saying, I am not okay when you're not okay, and knowing that's not weakness, that's courage. And beauty is not in the mirror. Beauty is in resilience. Beauty is in kindness. Beauty is in empathy. Beauty is in rising every time you fall. It's in the cracks, the scars, the broken pieces that we put back together with trembling hands. Beauty is not what the world sees. It's what you choose to see in yourself. I have met some of the most beautiful people during my darkest times. People who didn't wear makeup or designer clothes or have perfect lives. But they had warmth in their eyes. They listened without judgment. They held space for others. And in that, they radiated something more powerful than any spotlight. They radiated truth. We live in a world that constantly tells us who we should be. Be thinner, be quieter, be prettier, be stronger, but not too strong. Be confident, but not intimidating. We are pulled in every direction, and in that tug of war, we lose ourselves. But here's what I want you to remember. Your worth is not negotiable. It is not defined by a job title, a relationship, a number on a scale, or the approval of others. Your worth is inherent. It's in how you show up for yourself, how you speak to yourself when no one is listening, how you fight for your own joy even when life tries to steal it. So many of us are walking around carrying invisible burdens, grief, anxiety, trauma, fear, and yet we smile, we work, we take care of others, we push forward. That is strength. But let me also say this. Strength doesn't mean doing everything alone. It doesn't mean never breaking down. It means knowing when to ask for help. It means letting people in. It means saying, I can't do this today, and honoring that. One of the most beautiful things I've learned is that vulnerability is not the opposite of strength. Vulnerability is strength. When you allow yourself to be seen in your most authentic, unfiltered form, that is when real connection happens. That is when healing begins. Today, when I speak about mental health, about self-worth, about being strong and beautiful, I don't do it because I've figured it all out. I do it because I'm still learning. I still have bad days. I still doubt myself. But now I know that those moments don't define me. What defines me is how I choose to rise from them. So to every girl who's ever been told she's too much or not enough, you are not here to fit into a box. You are here to break it. To every boy who's been taught to hide his tears, your emotions are not your enemy. They are your humanity. To every person who's been told they need to change in order to be loved, please know this: you are worthy of love exactly as you are. We don't talk about inner beauty enough. We talk about filters, makeup, fashion, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. But beauty without grace, without depth, without compassion is just a shell. It's time we redefine beauty as something rooted in authenticity. It's time we celebrate strength not as perfection, but as perseverance. When I look back at the hardest chapters of my life, I don't see weakness anymore. I see growth. I see a woman who was willing to break in order to rebuild. And that woman, with all her flaws and fears, is someone I am deeply proud of. So here's what I want to leave you with today. You are allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. You are allowed to cry and still be strong. You are allowed to rest and still be ambitious. You are allowed to fall and still rise again and again. Your journey is not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be yours. Unique, messy, beautiful, just like you. And in a world that profits off your self-doubt, choosing to love yourself is a radical act. Choosing to believe in your own power is revolutionary. So don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Don't shrink to fit someone else's version of you. Stand tall, speak your truth, and walk in your strength. Because strength is not in never breaking. It's in having the courage to put yourself back together. And beauty is not in being flawless. It's in embracing your flaws with grace and honesty. You are strong. You are beautiful. Not because someone else says so, but because you choose to believe it for yourself. Thank you.